This small village in Russia found itself at the center of a global crisis. The Arctic ice is melting at an alarming rate, causing sea levels to rise and temperatures to soar. Climate change is ravaging the planet. But Ryakaipi in Chukotka, Russia, a small village right on the Arctic Ocean, might just be the first to experience the full extent of climate change. You see, there's not enough coastal ice for the polar bears to move out over the sea where they would normally be hunting now, according to environmentalists, so they're ravaging the village. Climate change is one of the biggest global challenges of our time, and while countries around the world are making efforts to combat it, one country seems to hold all the cards when it comes to the issue. Can you guess which country it is? Russia. But hold on, why does Russia have such a significant role to play in the fight against climate change? It may surprise you to know that Russia's position as a leading energy supplier and its vast natural resources make it a key player in global efforts to tackle climate change. So now that we've established that climate change is at the mercy of one of the most unpredictable states in history, what does this mean for the rest of the world? What may surprise you to know that Russia is also one of the countries that will be hit the hardest by climate change. Permafrost is melting and the ground beneath Russia is shifting, and this is causing infrastructure to crumble and the entire region becoming uninhabitable. But that's not all. With the invasion of Ukraine by President Vladimir Putin, the issue has only gotten worse. Europe, one of Russia's largest gas export markets, has started to wean itself off of Russian gas in response to Russia's unwillingness to put an end to the war. Putin might hope that China will become Russia's new energy market, but even China is skeptical about relying on Russia for its energy needs. Thane Gustafsson, doctor in political science and author of Climate Russia in the Age of Climate Change, pointed out that Russia's future hangs in the balance of the big question. Will they be able to adapt and diversify its economy before it's too late? Or will it continue to rely on a shrinking global market for fossil fuels? Russia's dependence on fossil fuel exports also makes it a major player in the global climate change conversation. As the world shifts towards cleaner energy sources to combat climate change, Russia's economy is at risk of being left behind. Or maybe the world will be the one to feel the impact. So what's the relationship between Russia and oil? Let's find out. Russia is currently one of the world's largest producers of oil and natural gas as it stands, and its exports of these fossil fuels are a major source of revenue for the country. To confirm this, the International Energy Agency, IEA, in 2020 reported that Russia was the world's largest exporter of crude oil and the second largest exporter of natural gas. Carbon emissions have been difficult to reduce for a lot of countries that heavily depend on Russia's oil and gas export. In 2019, for example, 40% of natural gas, which was imported by the whole of Europe, came from Russia. As a result of this, reducing dependence on Russian fossil fuels has been a major challenge for European countries trying to transition to cleaner energy sources. But this is not only affecting other countries who trade with Russia. Russia is also having its fair share of the situation. Russia's dependence on oil and gas exports has also posed a great risk to its economy. In recent years, the price of oil has been volatile, and Russia's economy has been hit hard by fluctuations in oil prices. Diversifying its economy and reducing its dependence on oil and gas exports has been the long-term goal of the Russian government. And that's not all. Russia has a high potential of producing renewable energy with enormous benefits. The country spans an area of 17.1 million square kilometers, with vast stretches of land that are ideal for generating solar and wind power. Russia has the largest wind potential in the world, with the potential to generate up to 30 times its current electricity consumption using wind power alone. That's a lot of clean, renewable energy. However, renewable energy only accounts for a tiny fraction of Russia's energy mix currently. But what if Russia decides to invest heavily in renewables? Can you imagine what will happen? Russia could easily become a global leader in the field, helping to diversify its economy and reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. And the benefit would not only just be felt within Russia's borders, but all around the world. A shift towards renewables would have a positive impact on the global fight against climate change. So imagine a future where Russia's cities are powered by renewable energy, where wind turbines and solar panels dot the landscape, and where clean energy is the norm. It may seem like a distant dream, but with the right investments and policies, Russia could make it a reality. Who knows, maybe one day Russia's renewable energy innovations will be the envy of the world. And there's more. Russia, known for its strong-headed nature, influences international politics, and this has been a topic of discussion for many years. The country's political power and economic might have allowed it to exert significant leverage in various areas, including climate change negotiations. With it being a permanent member of the UN Security Council, Russia has veto power, which means it can single-handedly block any international policy decision, including those related to climate change. Let me take you back to the events of 2015. Russia used its political power in climate negotiations during the Paris Agreement talks in 2015, even though Russia initially resisted the agreement, arguing that it would negatively impact its economy. But after some negotiations, the country eventually signed the agreement. While Russia's commitment to the Paris Agreement has been questioned in recent years, its potential to influence global climate policy remains significant and a subject of concern. In 2020, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a plan to reduce the country's greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2060. While this goal is not as ambitious as those set by other countries, such as the EU and the UK, it is still a significant step forward for Russia's climate efforts. In essence, Russia's dependence on fossil fuel exports presents an interesting situation where it holds all the cards to climate change. Russia has the power to significantly reduce global carbon emissions, become a leader in renewable energy, and influence international climate change negotiations. How Russia chooses to use its power in this field will have significant implications for the future of our planet. Now, do you understand why Russia holds all the cards to climate change? Because of this growing concern, world leaders gathered at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to discuss the urgent need to secure a livable future amidst growing concerns about the issues of climate change. The meeting, which was organized by the United Nations to provide a platform for other countries to deliver their nationals concerning the issue on the ground. The discussions all centered mostly on the inseparable relationship between climate security and energy security, with the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak stressing the importance of investing in renewables to diversify energy supplies and reduce the risk of energy dependency. The Prime Minister didn't stop there. He also pointed out that rising energy prices and conflicts like Russia's war in Ukraine should not be used as an excuse to delay climate action, but rather to act faster. The meeting comes in the wake of several major UN reports that paint a grim picture of the planet's future if swift action is not taken. Among the many reports is one which warns that there is no credible pathway to cap global heating at 1.5 degrees Celsius, a crucial global target recognized in the 2015 Paris Agreement. Beyond this threshold, tipping points become more likely, which could result in dramatic shifts in the Earth's entire life support system. French President Emmanuel Macron emphasized the need for all nations to hold their climate commitments, regardless of the energy threats posed by Russia. Do you think other countries should go with what President Emmanuel Macron said? What if something goes wrong? Is the US going to let Russia exercise such power for a long time? Can the world trust Russia to do what's right for the planet? Time will tell, and in the meanwhile, we want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.